how are you recommending to your clients to sort of update their goals?
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask that? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it is a fair question. One, because it's what people are sitting with today.
This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black entrepreneurship, politics, news, and events in Hampton Roads and beyond.
When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street. When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black.
Welcome to the 79th edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. Our show is sponsored by Milestone Mental Health Agency. And for those that may be mental health counselors interested in telehealth opportunities, you're urged to contact Milestone for a virtual interview at 757-749-1162. We'll also have a word later from two of our other sponsors, Lori Ruffin at the COO team, as well as Michael Gray and Anthony Epps, of Apex Financial Group of Virginia. The first part of our show will focus on building immunity during the COVID-19 pandemic. As you've heard, the Black community disproportionately is affected by the virus for a number of reasons. So compromised immunity due to the prevalence of underlying health issues, including diabetes and high blood pressure, the increased likelihood of being essential workers, and certainly living conditions are a few of the reasons that we're going to highlight today. I was recently reading in the Washington Post that the virus can have an impact on systems beyond the lungs. I read about how it can impact the heart, kidney functioning, and on. And here to help us have that conversation is the lovely Dr. Anna Peoples. She is a licensed clinical pharmacist and holistic therapist with a multitude of skills and years of experience in the practice of pharmacy and holistic treatment. She's the CEO and founder of Peoples Diabetic Clinic and Pharmacy in Norfolk, and she's appearing on our show for the second time. We're delighted to have you back. How are you, Dr. Peoples?
Oh, I'm wonderful, and it is a pleasure to be here.
I am certainly glad to have you. Help us today. How do we avoid contracting coronavirus? What's the strategy?
Okay, so how not to get infected, number one, stay at home. And if you have to go out, you need to practice physical distancing. At least stay 6 to 10 feet apart from people and animals that are around you. This initially started out as an animal virus, and it mutated to humans, and therefore animals also can contract the virus. When you're out, you must wear masks and gloves, and when you return home, leave your shoes outside because the virus can stay on your shoes for up to 12 hours. If you wear those plastic shoes, they can stay on your shoes for 24 hours. Disinfect the bottoms and change your clothes before entering the main area of your home.
Wow. Man, I had not heard the piece about animals contracting the virus. Okay, mask, gloves. I'm taking copious notes. 24 hours if I'm wearing plastic shoes. Wow. Okay, great. So if I end up contracting the virus, how can I stay alive?
That's a really good question. But first, what we want to talk about is things that you can do to actually build your immune system. And to build your immune system, the one thing you have to, or a couple of things you have to do, is you have to avoid inflaming your body any more than it already is. And some of the things that you have to do is to, if you can, stay away from gluten. And we're talking about breads. And think about the name gluten. It means glue. And so what happens is that, especially people that have a sensitivity to glutinous foods, it is glue, and so it prevents the absorption of your foods and the nutrients in your guts. No processed foods. This is a perfect time to get your diet together. Avoid sugars, because sugar is just like poison to our bodies. It decreases our inflammatory response, and absolutely no dairy at this time, because dairy produces mucus. And if you do get an infection, the first thing that happens is in your lungs is you get all this mucus formation. So you don't want to exacerbate that with any dairy. No fried foods. I know this is going to be hard for a lot of people, but right now is the time to get you some good old greens. And if you love bread, make some cornbread.
I love that. So no sugar, no dairy, hold back on gluten, avoid the processed foods. Okay.
And now, go ahead. And some of the supplements, right quickly, that you always want to be doing now is vitamin C. Vitamin C is an excellent antioxidant. One of the hospitals in New York is actually giving vitamin C IV to their patients that are there with the COVID-19. They're giving the patients 1,500 milligrams every 6 hours. Every 4 hours. I was talking to one of the practitioners here, and they're actually giving their patients vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams every 4 to 6 hours. And these are healthy patients. This will in itself build up your immune system along with vitamin D and zinc.
Vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Okay.
And eat mushrooms. Mushrooms are excellent for building up your immune system. The shiitake mushrooms, they use a lot of that over in China. I've read some of the studies and clinical trials that they've had a lot of success with the mushrooms. Reishi, lion's mane, all kinds of mushrooms. Just get your mushrooms, saute them. You know, this is the perfect time to go to the fruit and vegetable aisle and just load up. Get you a lot of oranges, grapefruits, all your vitamin C. Nutrition is very key during this time period. And stay away from processed foods because we don't know what's in processed foods. And a lot of times they don't digest in your body properly.
Got it. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk in recent years about elderberry, but I've been hearing, particularly as it relates to the virus, that elderberry is not effective. Is it effective on the immunity side and maybe not so much on the treatment side, or what would you say about elderberry and even echinacea?
Okay, so elderberry has been getting a lot of flack lately, but elderberry has a lifelong list of good literature and outcomes.
Okay.
I believe elderberry is a potent modulator of the immune system and in response to the inflammation. It reduces the production of all the inflammatory cytokines in your lungs. So I would not discount elderberry because elderberry is one of the few herbs that is used for respiratory for the flu and viruses that affect your lungs, along with NAC, N-acetylcysteine, and glutathione. Those are products that if you start having some of the symptoms of having the virus, you want to go ahead and start adding that to your health regimen.
Okay.
You want to do the and we have some excellent products of immune-building elderberry products that contains elderberry in it. But I would not discount elderberry because all of this elderberry has a lot of scientific data to support the fact that it's used very well for viruses, against viruses and the flu.
Fantastic. Okay. I know part of the work that you do is really helping people from a holistic standpoint. What else do we need to be doing aside from monitoring our intake and beefing up, pun intended, right, on our fruits and vegetables?
Well, one thing that is out in the literature is that they're telling folks now not to take any NSAIDs, such as the ibuprofen, the naproxen, and the like. The reason because those products cause a leaky gut, and what that equates to is that when your gut it just leaks, so things get out from your stomach into the rest of your body. But then they say, well, you want to substitute it with Tylenol. Well, the problem with Tylenol is that Tylenol decreases the amount of glutathione that's in your body, and glutathione lines your lungs, and so that protects the inflammation in your lungs. My recommendation for folks that are having pain is to actually try the CBD products. The CBD products would help you with your stress during this period, which a lot of people are really stressing out, and it also will help you with the pain. Things also you want to look at for your stress is ashwagandha and also ginseng. We at People's Pharmacy do have a holistic approach to this, and we can actually do an assessment, a holistic assessment for you to find out which products will work best for you.
Because not everything is going to work well for everyone.
No, there's not. And also you have to remember that that's a very good point, because if you are doing all these natural things, then that's why, the disease can still accelerate, because the natural approach may not always work. And that's why it's important to go to a health professional that can sit down with you, not necessarily now sit down with you, but talk with you and work with you on what would be best for you, because people also have underlying conditions. And we deal with a lot of people with diabetes, and they are a very special population that we work with to get through this.
Okay. Now, I know that the best case scenario would be for someone to contact you for a consultation. Can you just say generally for someone that has, let's say, type 2 diabetes, how can they go about building their immunity? Would you still recommend these same supplements? I mean, what would you say?
I would say basically the same thing. The most important thing now for people with diabetes is to watch your diet. Yeah. They have to really be adamant on their diet, because the diabetes itself causes inflammation in the body, and that's the key to this disease and other diseases as well, because you want to keep the inflammatory response at low as possible or not at all. So for the people with diabetes, they just need to make sure that they, number one, have an adequate supply of their products, of their diabetic medication. Number two, they need to be especially vigilant about their diet and monitoring their glucose levels. So this is an excellent time when people are at home. They can really get their health regimen in order.
Yeah, good stuff. I was just thinking about needing to, quote-unquote, re-up on some of my personal vitamins, but having a difficult time finding things on shelves. Are you all fully stocked at People's? Can I come there and get vitamin C and zinc?
Absolutely, and you can also get the perfect recommendation. Now, zinc is a known vitamin that definitely kills a virus. When I was working on my doctorate degree, I learned that 3 things work to eradicate a cold or to lessen the duration of a cold and the flu. That was chicken noodle soup. They don't know why. Zinc and vitamin C. So those are the staples that folks need to have. Now, zinc has been, because I think zinc was on the Dr. Oz show or something, so it's been really hard to get. But we have really restocked on a lot of different products, such as glutathione, which is the master antioxidant, even more potent than vitamin C. And we can talk about that at another time.
I was just going to ask you, as we're drawing to a close, what is glutathione?
Well, glutathione actually is an antioxidant. It is also the precursor for N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine and glutathione actually thins the mucus in the lungs. So that's why that's so important. In the hospital, NAC is used for Tylenol poisoning. So there's a lot of literature about the benefits of taking N-acetylcysteine, and it's one of those specific immune boosters that are specific for your lungs. And that's why that's so important.
Incredible. Okay, and so you have this in stock. And so when I come in, I can get a consultation. You'll talk to me about how much of this I can take and all of that.
Yes, ma'am, but you do need to have a mask on before
I have a mask. Speaking of masks, are you selling masks?
Well, I'm supposed to get some in this week. I don't sell like a bulk of them. I normally, with our holistic care packages, we normally include a mask in those for a lot of people. We provide those to folks all over the country, and a lot of them don't have access to masks, so we include that in our packages.
Okay. Let me ask you about those packages. We've got about 4 minutes. Holistic care packages. Can I order them through you? Can I have them sent from you elsewhere? And what do they include?
Well, the healthcare packages are put together based on your assessment, on your personalized assessment, and we actually ship them out for you. So you don't have to come in. You can do the assessment over the phone, and we'll put together the package based on your personal assessment. If you have any underlying conditions, we also do research. We do a lot of research with these packages. We just don't put like a standard package together for everybody. We research your condition. We include the products that will be best for you. We also give you a schedule of how to take them, when to take them, and actually the literature on what the product is, the dosing, how it works, and how it help you, and other uses for the product. So you get a lot of literature with it as well.
Good. Got 3 minutes, and I want to pull these 2 questions that came off our Facebook page. I think these are important. One question has to do with providing gummies, right, in terms of vitamins for children, and the fact that they contain sugar. Do you have a preferred vitamin for kids, something that would be a multivitamin that wouldn't contain so much sugar?
Well, my preferred method of, form of products are liquids. We do, and I do specific brands. The Matrix Plus are USP certified, so that you know what the package said is in it is actually in it. I do Pure Encapsulations. That's another brand of products that we carry that we know that what they say is in the product is actually there. So you want to be careful with that. I don't recommend sugar at this time for anybody.
Okay. All right, last question, and we're wrapping up here. How long does it take for supplements and vitamins to actually start working? This says, of course, everyone's using them now, but is it too late? This also says, I consume vitamin C and sea moss daily since the start of the pandemic.
Well, they actually start to work within 30 minutes,
Wow.
Yeah, but if you do so that goes back to the brand. That also goes back to the form. Now, if you have a product, a pill or something that has it's really shiny, a lot of that is a pharmaceutical grade glaze that is put over that to maintain the stability of the tablet. A lot of times that doesn't get through yet. That does not absorb because of that glaze. So you have to be real careful about that. The best source, the best form of vitamin C is called liposomal vitamin C. And that's a new technology that makes sure that the acid in your stomach does not degrade the vitamin.
Liposomal. And I assume you have that in stock as well.
I do have some, but that gets pricey. So the other thing that I recommend is the liquid vitamin C, or you always go for capsules. Liquids first, capsules next, and then tablets.
Liquid vitamin C. Okay, we've got just a minute here. Please reiterate your contact information. How can you be reached?
Okay, we're at People's Pharmacy and Diabetic Clinic with 1446 Church Street, Suite C in Norfolk, Virginia. Our telephone number is area code 757-227-4677. Our website is www.peoplespharmacy.com.
Perfect. I, for one, will be up in that camp today. Thank you so much for these incredible words of wisdom in this time of crisis. We certainly look forward to having you back on the show, Dr. Peoples.
But thank you for having us, and everyone be safe, and this too shall pass.
Yes, ma'am. When we return, we'll have Money Talk with Apex Financial Group, Michael Epps and Anthony Gray. Talk in just a moment.
Excellence is being able to perform at a high level for a long period of time.
The next level success is just a step away. Stay tuned. Black Wall Street Today will be right back after a word from our underwriting sponsors.
When the conversation is good and the friends are even better, you'll find a wine that brings it all together. Shoe Crazy Wine. Remember that name. Shoe Crazy Wine. Available at Costco, Kroger, and these other fine retailers.
We know you love jazz music, so let's try some jazz music with a little R&B flavor. Baby, baby, I'm falling in love. You got me falling in love again. You make me falling in love again. You make me. What about some jazz music with a little trap flavor? Jazz and Caribbean. Hey, we we mix it up. So, online, look for Grandpa Crunk and enjoy the great jazz music. Grandpa Crunk. Jazz music.
Peace. I'm your brother Crunk. I have a new podcast called Snatched. Sorry.
You're about to get snatched.
It's the best of my YouTube channel, Crumb TV.
You're listening to the Snatched podcast.
In audio mastered format.
Snatch and run!
On Blueberry, Android, the Edgy Podcast, Stitcher, Digital Podcast, and Speaker.
Ever experienced what snatching is like?
And now, more Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham on Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
Welcome back to the 79th edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. It's time for hashtag Money Talk, sponsored by Apex Financial of Virginia, with Mr. Michael Gray and Anthony Epps. Gentlemen, how are you?
Great. Doing good. How are you?
Doing well, surviving. Excited about our topic for today in terms of the impact of COVID-19 on our assets. Let me start by asking this question, gentlemen. For those that are preparing to retire and those that have already retired, what does a market loss mean? And how can we recover from this?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so let's talk real quickly about COVID-19. We all know that this is unprecedented times that we're living in currently. This impact has changed our lifestyles. It has changed the way we live. And so basically what we're going to talk about today is what that 20% loss or what the other loss means to a person or individual who is at near retirement or for those who are currently retired, okay? All right, okay. So let's talk about that, okay? First of all, we know that due to the COVID-19 virus, we know that it's taken an impact on the economy. We have seen on news, various channels, the impact it's making on businesses, closures, all pop sectors of our economy, along with school closing. So basically, we see now that the economy is basically on a downtrend. Now, basically, when you look at a downtrend, okay, many people, many retirees, and those who are looking to retire probably have their accounts tied indirectly or directly to the stock market, okay? Now, when the economy is on a downtrend, of course, we all know that the stock market has a tendency to drop value or have losses, okay? So currently, over the last few weeks, we have all witnessed that the stock market has took a pretty big hit. And because of this hit, okay, a lot of people have experienced, okay, those that have retirement accounts that's tied to the market, those that are looking to retire, retirement accounts such as 401ks, Roth IRAs, TSPs, just to name a few. Those accounts that are tied directly or indirectly to the market have suffered a 20% or more loss, okay? So what does this mean? Your question is, what does this mean to an individual? Well, this means that if you have experienced a 20% or more loss, okay, in your retirement account value, this means that you're going to have to recover, okay? On the average, okay, it would take about 2.5 years for an individual, okay, to recover a 20% loss predicated on the market earning 11%, which we know that is pretty high and it may not be accomplished, okay? The second return, if the market was to yield an 8% return, okay, it would take a 20% loss, okay, earning 8% about 3.5 years. If the market were to yield about 3.5%, okay, which is probably more in that range, it would take about 8 years, okay, 8 years to recover your losses. So what this means, basically, that if there are some losses that you're currently experiencing right now, it's going to take some time to recover, and that's going to have to be done based upon the return of the stock market. So what we do here is that what we try to do is try to inform our clients. We have programs that's available that we offer free consultation. Notice I said free. A free consultation where we will have you come in, or we can do a video, Zoom, however you want to do it. We'll sit down and meet with you, and we will diagnose your account or your portfolio and make recommendations to see if we can help stop the losses. And if you want that, you can call us today, right now today, at this number, 757-640-0207. You can call today. Don't delay. Again, the number here is 757-640-0207. We'll be more than happy to sit down with you, set up an appointment, and we'll be more than happy to discuss some of the recommendations and see what we can do to help you out. Now, on that note, the worst thing that you can do is nothing. Okay? Do nothing, then, that's the worst thing that you can do. So that's one of the things that we do here at our company, Apex. And again, the number is 640-0207. And the other thing we're going to talk about is debt relief, okay? This is a concern for a lot of Americans, okay?
Let me ask you specifically about the debt piece. How can we alleviate some of the burden associated with debt without actually spending any more money? I know there are a lot of programs out here,
Okay, we're going to talk about that. We're talking about debt, and we're talking about debt, which includes mortgage payments, credit cards, auto loans, student loans, personal loans, medical bills, other debt obligations. And I'm going to let Ms. Epps speak to that to you right now in reference to how we can help you to get out of debt without spending additional money.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's a concern. Debt. People are having a hard time with the debt, especially in these times when they're accumulating probably more debt by not having the income come in that they want to have come in.
Right.
So, it's going to be a process. It's going to probably take some time. But we have a proven program that we've been offering our clients to come in, sit down with them, take a look at what they're doing currently with the debt. As Reverend Gray quoted, car loans, mortgage loans, credit card debt, student loans, all these different debt instruments that people have acquired. We'll take a look at that, and we possibly can show you how to get out of debt in 9 years or less, including a mortgage, without spending any additional money than you're already spending. Wow. And with this particular instrument that we have, and it's a proven instrument, that we'll sit down with people to show them how that can happen. And basically, this program would allow them to get out of debt and possibly help them accumulate money for savings and retirement. So, basically, we're just asking people, because we know they're hurting, we know they need help, to call us at 757-640-0207. And I'm telling people not to delay, because as long as you wait, the more damage you're probably doing to yourself and your family personally.
So you're offering a free consultation for this debt relief program as well. Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay, fantastic. I'm making notes. What else did you want to share?
Okay, so with that said, again, we are happy to assist in many areas. We just talked about the stock market losses. We talked about debt relief. Also, too, we have programs that will help individuals who may just want to get an increase, to look at a Social Security checkup. This is a wonderful time to start looking at your Social Security benefits. We have programs here that can help individuals to get an increase. We have several strategies that we can show individuals how to get an increase and maximize their Social Security benefits, okay?
Let me ask you a question. Speaking of Social Security, if you don't mind, and this is something that's come up quite often in light of the, I think it's a $2 trillion stimulus that we're looking at?
Yeah, $2 trillion.
Any idea where these monies are coming from?
Good question, okay? A lot of this money basically is coming from the Federal Reserve, okay?
Okay.
All right? So the Federal Reserve is basically our printing company. They print money, okay?
Sure.
Okay? So we are on a paper standard here in the U.S. of A., and so a lot of this money is coming from the Federal Reserve. So what they do, they stimulate the economy, okay, by putting money back into the economy. That's what we have. That's what they call a stimulus package. Okay? So what they do is they print money so we can stimulate the economy, because if we don't put money back into the economy is basically 2/3 of consumers, okay? So if the economy is not operating, we're not buying products, selling products, then the economy will just basically crash. And so that's where that money is coming from, to kind of stimulate it, to kind of keep, money in circulation.
Sure.
Goods and products and services.
Okay. Let me ask this kind of on the same wise, and I do want to highlight the fact that you are providing the complimentary consultation. Again, this is nationwide, so no matter where you're tuning in from, if you'd like to speak with Mr. Epps and Mr. Gray concerning your own assets, 757-640-0207 is the number. I want to ask you about the PPP and the economic injury disaster loan programs. As it stands, do you all know individuals that have received word from the Small Business Administration in terms of their request for these loans and loan advances actually being approved?
Okay. Well, I've seen small business owners that's on social media, that's on TV, that's not in this state, that they receive some benefits. But personally, the ones I work with, no.
Not as of yet.
Not yet. And the reason for that being is because there's still a lot of glitches that's got to be worked out. You have to keep in mind that a lot of banks, once they reach their maximum lending amount, for example, a bank could have a $10 billion limit amount for the PPP program. So once they reach that limit, they shut down, because the bank's actually underwriting these loans, through the SBA.
Got it.
And the other reason is that a lot of banks basically, they haven't worked out a process yet on how to process some of this paperwork that's coming through. So there's a lot of glitches that's got to be worked out in the PPP.
Yeah.
And then again, too, the Treasury Secretary mentioned the other day that he's going to put more money back into some of these funds because they have a fear that the money is going to run out. So there's a lot of issues that's going on that's causing a delay in some of these businesses receiving their stimulus money.
Okay. And if you don't mind, that is something that I will continue to ask about as the situation unfolds. You are our trusted source for all things pertinent to money. So I'll definitely want to get an update from you all each week about the status of the stimulus, particularly for business owners. I do understand as well that the personal stimulus monies were set to go out today. Any word there that you want to share in the minute that we have remaining?
Yeah, it's been sent out. A lot of people have received that stimulus payments, $1,200. So, if you have family, children that's under 16, 17, you get $500 per child. And if you, qualify with the income thresholds that they have for a single married couple filing their taxes, $75,000, $150,000 household, you'll get that money. Now, keep in mind that the people that's getting that money now are the ones who have the information with the IRS on record, meaning that they found it, they got the bank information tied, with their tax return, so they're actually getting theirs first. The ones that don't have bank information, they have to put the information in and reach out to get the information over to them, and then they'll receive theirs. But the good news is with the paycheck program, the stimulus paycheck program, you have up until December this year to get your money. So
great.
Yeah. So if you haven't done your met the requirements, you have time to do that, and they'll still send the money to you.
Great. Fantastic. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for this Money Talk segment. This has certainly been helpful. Really quickly, just to reiterate, 757-640-0207 is the contact information if you're interested in a complimentary consultation. Do you all want to share your website and email address as well?
Yes.
Closing. Okay.
The email address, apex_va@yahoo.com, and the website for Apex Financial Group of Virginia Incorporated is www.apexfinancialgroupofva.com.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. This has been awesome. We'll look forward to sharing more with you next week. And when we return, we'll talk about the weight of leadership during this pandemic with Lori Ruffin of the COO team. We'll talk in just a moment.
The
biggest financial asset that you have going for you by miles is the value of your own earning power over the years.
If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. More important business insights are on the way. Stay locked in. Black Wall Street Today will be right back after these messages.
Hey, this is Seko, DJ Seko Varner, the producer of this podcast. So when I'm not producing podcasts, I'm actually DJing wedding receptions, corporate events, proms, other formals, and I would love to take care of your special event. So our company is Positive Vibes Incorporated, www.positivevibes.net. That's www.positivevibes.net. We've been performing for over 25 years, and we would love to bring our expertise and our fun to your special event. Positive Vibes Incorporated, www.positivevibes.net. Peace and prosperity.
Are you a 757 business owner? Do you desire to make new connections and grow your community involvement? Could you benefit from taking classes to sharpen your skills? Well, join Black Brand, Hampton Roads Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Completing a membership application is simple. Just click onto our website at www.blackbrand.biz or download the app. We look forward to meeting and building with you soon. WHOV would like to thank Black Brand for its support of WHOV programming.
And you might surprise yourself by what you can accomplish.
And now, more Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham on Smooth 88.1 WHOV.
Welcome back. It's the 79th edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. Our final segment of the hour focuses on the weight of leadership during this pandemic. We're excited to have back with us Ms. Lori Ruffin of the COO team. Her organization helps other organizations with the infrastructure that they need in order to scale their businesses. So systems, processes, policies. Lori, welcome back. It's great to have you here.
Thanks. Glad to be back. Thanks, Blair.
I think this is an important topic when we start to kind of focus on leadership. Talk to us about the weight of leadership.
Yes. Blair, as we've been serving our clients, we've been checking in with them and understanding how they're navigating the pandemic. And one of the echoes that keeps coming back is just this sense of feeling overwhelmed. Just kind of shocked into, oh my gosh, we were operating one day and then all of a sudden we've had to close our doors. We've had to lay people off. We're not quite sure. We've had, if we can continue to employ folks. And all of these things really represent weight, unexpected weight and burdens on leaders. And I was thinking about this after conversation with our clients and realizing that if you look at the definition of weight, it's the force that acts on an object because of gravity. And when you think about it, it can really be interpreted two ways. One, as a burden of responsibility, or as a force that can actually build strength. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I like that analogy. Definitely something to consider, right, when you're thinking about weightlifting, right, and that resistance that's created that in turn develops that muscle. Mm-hmm. Wow. So let me ask this then as a follow-up. How do you believe organizations can best build strength during a time like this?
Yes, I think really those that fare well and fare the best quickly take inventory of what can you control and what can you not control. So with the different governmental restrictions around social distancing, it seems like every other week we're finding out what we can and cannot do that are limitations. But it's not a limitation on everything. And so I think what would be helpful for leaders at this time is to kind of take the things that we can't control and almost put those in a pile, but then take a look at the things that we can control. And the CO team really likes to refer to 5 factors that are really important for sustainability and scaling. And I think this time of dealing with the pandemic is a good time for people to really double down and see where they are in these particular factors.
Sure.
So, like, number one, making sure that there's clarity around your identity. You know, who are you serving? What's your mission? A mission doesn't change. Now, how you fulfill that mission may change, but the mission doesn't change. So I'm seeing, for instance, an organization pivot around their mission to provide different services in view of the restraints. So there's a business here in Richmond called Tiny Textures. It's a wonderful salon that does hair for children. Natural hair care. They're not able to be open, but the owner has decided to provide online classes and to provide hair care kits in order to support the clients.
Sure.
So the mission is now being fulfilled through a different means. It's not through direct service, but she's pivoted. And so I think that is one, clear way to really think about how to build a strength based on investing in that identity and that mission alignment, utilizing what is still within, her control.
I love that.
So like a second thing we would say after identity, we would say strategy is really important. What are your goals and how do they need to change in view of the restrictions? So the statistic is saying that about 50% of organizations are operating with a strategic plan versus not. Those that have a strategic plan at least have a plan that can now be edited for the current outlook. And so that's another place where the weight of leadership can be utilized to build strength. Let's look at the plan that we have and what edits do we need to make to it.
Let me ask you a question that sort of speaks to that concern. I love it, right? So if we have a plan, then we can definitely edit it, right? But our plans are all seemingly sort of time sensitive. When we're going to do what is impacted by everything that's happening. How are you recommending to your clients to sort of update their goals? Can I ask that? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it is a fair question. One, because it's what people are sitting with today. I think it's good to, pull out the plans and lay them out and really look at the timelines, find out what's realistic, what's kind of really uncertain, and what are the things that are still sure, and how far out are we? For instance, a lot of organizations had events scheduled, in the spring and the summertime and even into the fall. Well, some organizations are going to stay in this valley of decision about whether or not we should go forth or not for things that are maybe happening in September, for instance. Well, we're too far out to really know, but we can move that into our realm of certainty by making an assumption and making a decision. And it could be a conservative decision to say, well, we're going to go ahead and pivot now because now we can make an alternate experience amazing versus we are going to wait and kind of watch the news and let it get closer and closer to the event and then pull the trigger at the last minute.
I like that. Make an assumption and then make a decision. Even if it's a conservative decision, have a decision kind of there. I like it.
Because the longer that it stays in that pending status, it's going to be stressful for everyone, and then we also limit our ability to be able to make that the best of what it could be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes a ton of sense. I hope it's benefiting someone other than me.
Yeah. And, I think that this kind of goes into the third element that we think is important, which is systems.
Sure.
To even have a decision-making process. Who needs to be involved? What information is needed? We always like to say it's really important to have a process even for making decisions. Who owns this decision? Who gathers the information for it? And then whose call is it? When you have those things that are clear, it helps you actually pull the trigger. And so for those that are maybe experiencing a downtime, this could be a really good opportunity to strengthen your organization by looking at your systems, looking at your client services, looking at your communication systems, looking at your financial systems, and looking at your people systems to say, what do we have in place that's working well, and then what are the gaps that we have, and how could we use this time to invest in strengthening those systems?
And reiterate those for me once more, Lori, the communications, the people, the financials, and what was the first system?
The first system, so there's people, communications, financial, and, I'm not sure if I listed this one, but project management systems.
Okay, awesome.
And I would include decision-making processes in that category as well.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. So then I would say the last two categories that we like to talk about are your talent management and then your ethos, which is your culture. The talent management one is pretty hard right now. A lot of organizations are reeling from having to reduce hours and or lay off. And so that's a little bit of a sore spot for many right now, especially with the unemployment rates climbing high. But I think it's still a really important topic. You know, who do you need on your team in order to execute the mission? And I think that right now that's a little bit variable. But simple things such as even understanding what are our priorities and our goals and the ways that we want to treat our people. What are the things that the guiding principles that guide how we act in the interest of our team. Those are really important questions for right now, especially as a lot of leaders are having to make the tough decision about how to help their own team members navigate the COVID-19 crisis.
Let me ask you this, in terms of the work with your clients, what are some best practices around keeping the morale high when folks are being laid off or having to work from home? What are you finding that those are having success with keeping that morale high? What are they actually doing?
Communication. They're checking in, Blair. I think sometimes in crisis we can overlook the obvious. But I mean, just imagine, you're working for a company, you work hard, and now you're home, and you've got kids that you've got to homeschool unexpectedly. You're still trying to deliver on your job because you realize that some of your peers have been laid off, but you still have a job. But now you're trying to juggle everything. To pick up to answer the phone and know that it's your supervisor or the owner calling to check on you and to say, how are you? Are you okay? Is there anything that I can do to help? For that conversation to be filled with grace and understanding for the fact that this person is juggling childcare and education as well as their job responsibilities. I think graceful communication is the number one thing that is keeping morale high in an overall stressful time. The second thing I would say is it's not a reasonable expectation for people to behave as normal when the whole surrounding environment is abnormal.
Yeah.
So I think it's re-level setting and not expecting the same kind of service delivery, while people are kind of recalibrating and finding their way within the new stressors associated with COVID-19.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Just having that perspective. Okay, I know you've got a set piece there, ethos. Did you want to? I know it's pretty related, right?
Yeah, it is. And so ethos is, we like to define that as your values turn inward. So it's the things that we say that we stand for, the core beliefs that our organizations represent, but displayed inwardly. I think it's really important during this time when organizations and leaders are feeling the weight of leadership to really check in and say, are we clear on our values and are we living our values? Because pressure is really the test. Was it Martin Luther King that said the test of a person is how they are under pressure, not in times of peace? And so I think that if organizations have not taken the time to clarify their values, it's good to really say, what are we really about? And how can we live into those things? And if they have defined them, to really check in with them and saying, are we living up to what we say we are about? So if we're about collaboration, what does that look like now? If we're about, excellence, what does that look like now when there are many things that are kind of coming against or pulling against that high value of excellence? Like, what does it look like in the new environment, in the new context? And how can we live into it responsibly, but then also in a revised way that is respecting the moment and the difficulty of the current moment.
Awesome. Lori, I want to thank you so much for your time today. Could you just very, very quickly let folks know how you can be contacted?
Yes, if you go to thecooteam.com, thecooteam.com, we have an ability for organizations to sign up for a 15-minute consult to give us an opportunity to hear what you're going through, what you're facing, and we can share the ways that we can help. We really focus on helping organizations, nonprofits, businesses, and churches get the systems that they need to scale. And so we would love to connect with you there and be a thought partner for whatever it is that you're facing as an organization, and we can lend ourselves to supporting you.
Thought partnership. Beautiful. Thank you again, Lori. I look forward to having you on the show in the month of May. I'm excited.
Yeah, look forward to it too.
Yes, and I want to thank you all for tuning in to Black Wall Street Today, sponsored by Milestone Mental Health Agency, Apex Financial Group of Virginia, as well as the COO team. Very special thank you to our guest, the awesome Dr. Peoples of Peoples Diabetic Clinic and Pharmacy, our guests from Apex Financial Group, Michael Gray and Anthony Epps, as well as Lori Ruffin of the COO team. We are building minds and building connections. We're forging the path ahead toward business success in the Black community. We look forward to talking next week.
Phenomenal. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram, and then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party.
Phenomenal. Hey, yo, when I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black Wall Street. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say Black, you say Wall Street. Black. When I say Black, you say Wall Street.